Not so long ago, I made a video explaining that a VPN, a virtual private network, is actually illegal in China, according to the Chinese government. Not a Google search, not something from Western media, but an official from the Chinese Communist Party saying that it is illegal, period. So, but she was using a VPN to broadcast this on Twitter. So it's catch-22, stuck between a rock and a hard place. So I would like to expose the Western criminals in China who are using a VPN, which is illegal. The first one is Mr. Jason Lightford. He has a YouTube channel, and he will always disrespect the West and always say China is the best place in the world to live. Let's have a look at him.
It's there. How considerate. And I speak all of those languages, by the way. Ni hao, hello, annyeonghaseyo.
Mr. Lightford, you are breaking the law. You are guilty. Yep. And as this lady will say in a moment, you will go to prison.
这道墙翻不得，切莫以身试法。未经允许使用 VPN 翻墙在国内都是违法的。
Mr. Jason Lightford, you are guilty as charged, and you should spend the remaining days in the Beijing prison, which is not a bed of roses.
And I speak all of those languages, by the way. Ni hao.
Another one who has been in China ever since the first dynasty is a guy called Lee Barrett, and he will do propaganda pieces, constantly reading from a book, for example, or an auto cue in front, saying that everything that the Western media is fake, the Western government is bad, and the Chinese government is the best in the world.
So we're in a park, and this park is called People's Park. I'm not going to tell you where it is. I want to see if you can guess, but I'll give you a few clues. It was established.
We need reminding of what Chinese law states.
这道墙翻不得，切莫以身试法。 未经允许使用 VPN 翻墙在国内都是违法的。
Barrett, you are guilty as charged. That's meant to be a hammer.
So we're in a park, and this park is called People's Park. I'm not going to tell you where it is. I want to see if you can guess, but...
There are, it feels like, so many Western criminals in China who are using a VPN, and they should all go to prison because it is actually illegal. You shouldn't. And to be honest with you, do we actually need a VPN? Do we need to go and check the latest Facebook page? I don't need a VPN. I'm quite happy without. I do have a secure network, which I do pay for legally. Yeah. But here's another one from South Africa, Mr. Jerry Good. He is broadcasting on YouTube outside the Chinese firewall. Well, what do you think? Is he guilty or not guilty?
大家好，国际们，我是这个 Jerry。今天 I want to talk about the transformation of.
You have forgotten, let me just remind you, an extra time of the Chinese law.
这道墙翻不得，切莫以身试法。未经允许使用 VPN 翻墙在国内都是违法的。
Mr. Jerry Good, you are guilty as charged.
Over the past decades, I think it's important to start with modern cities. Your cities exploded into this.
Okay, let's do one more Western criminal. This is a gentleman called Jerry's Take on China. I've forgotten his last name. He comes from England. He worked in Australia and moved to China, I don't know, 19 years ago. I have written a comment once on there, and he called me a muppet and a buffoon and an idiot and stupid. So let's see what he's rabbiting on about using a VPN in China.
Wherever you are in the world, welcome to another edition of My Take on China.
So what do you think? Is he guilty or not guilty broadcasting this propaganda related to what he thinks of it? Do you think he's guilty or not guilty? Let's do that law one more time, just in case we forgot.
这道墙翻不得，切莫以身试法。未经允许使用 VPN 翻墙在国内都是违法。
There we go, Mr. Jerry number 2. You are guilty, and you should not be using a VPN. If you want to go to Hong Kong, that's okay. You don't need a VPN. If you want to go to anywhere else in Asia to go on YouTube, you don't need to. A VPN, a virtual private network, jumps over the Chinese firewall. What's the point of having a firewall if you can jump over it? Guilty, I'm afraid.
I'd like you to consider two things, and neither of them are China or Chinese related. But
now, this is when it becomes a bit more complicated. If you use this, can you legally use a VPN in China? Using a VPN is not illegal. But if you try to provide a VPN or other technical against the Great Firewall without permission, that's illegal. About the Great Chinese Firewall. So that's when it becomes complicated. But as we mentioned before, this lady, I think I may show the whole video of her at the very end if you just want to see it. Everything is translated into English, is there for you. This is when it becomes more complicated as well. VPNs are technically illegal in China. According to China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, the government body in charge of the internet regulation, VPN usage in the country is a crime. Is a crime. Guilty.
China's prison system has had a notorious reputation for brutality.
So, in theory, if you are guilty, you committed a crime, you are a criminal, you should go to prison. And Chinese prisons are not very nice. And what do they usually talk about? They would talk about the infrastructure. As a great friend of mine on YouTube, Mr. Lewis Hand, who's in the UK, did a video related to both of these subjects not so long ago, saying that look at the trains or the underground system in England and have a look at the ones in other countries. Well, first of all, let's go to Gloucester Road Tube Station in the UK. Now, let's take a look at the future of the underground system in London. They are modernising the trains. More trains equals less foot traffic. In China, they do less trains and more interior design. Look how lovely it is. Do you really care? Well, you just want to catch the train and have space to breathe.
The new tube for London, which will mean faster, more frequent and more reliable journeys on the Piccadilly.
Let's go over to a underground or subway system in China and let's see how wonderful it really is during rush hour. It's not like these Western criminals say it is. Compare that to the new modern trains which will be appearing in London, I can guess, in the next 10 years.
Modern signalling and train control systems will mean the new trains can run faster and more frequently.
She looks pretty nice.
Modern technology. The 250 spacious and comfortable new trains will have walk-through carriages.
Which brings us to a close on Friday, the 15th of December, 2023. Please do subscribe to the channel. Please give it a thumbs up. If you want to support my work, all the links are in the description below. Please hit the notification button and hit all on that. So every time I make a video, you can get the notification of it. And I do, for example, today I've made 3 videos. This is my hobby. This is what I enjoy doing. Just the challenge to see of how many people, how many subscribers or how many views I can get. We always dream as a YouTuber or content creator to wake up and go, wow, 1 million views. Will it happen? I doubt it very much. But hey, dreams do come true and my dreams are up to you. God bless to all. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye for now.